now, onto a story of this primary school teacher who was sacked for raising concerns about an 8-year-old girl who identified as a boy, or at least said she did. The teacher faces having to remortgage her house as Nottinghamshire County Council demands that she pays her £14,000 of legal costs after she accused them of unfair dismissal. She was concerned about the welfare of the child after the school instructed all staff to refer to them with male pronouns, refer to her with male pronouns and a male name. And the child was told to use the boys' toilets and dressing rooms, right? Joining us now to discuss this is Tim Dieppe from Christian Concern. Tim, thank you very much. So we live in a country now where if you misgender an 8-year-old, they take your house off you.
Well, it does seem like that, doesn't it? I mean, it is incredible. I mean, what this teacher did is, she was told, along with other teachers, this 8-year-old girl, you now have to call her him. She's now becoming a boy. And this teacher, who has to now anonymise herself, so her pseudonym for this purpose is Hannah, because she can't risk identification and so on. Hannah then raised safeguarding concerns and said, well, what's your medical evidence to do this then? What evidence do you have this is the right thing for this child to allow them to socially transition gender like this? And said herself that she wouldn't go along with it because she didn't think it was the best thing for the school or for the pupil to do. And said that this isn't what they should do, and produced lots of evidence from top medical authorities to show that this is not helpful for children to affirm them in a transgender identity. And what did the school do? Well, the school, disciplined her, ended up dismissing her, didn't listen to her concerns, and pursued, when she tried to pursue her safeguarding concerns in the court, they dismissed it, she lost the case, and now they are pursuing her for the money, and they're saying, OK, well, you haven't got any cash spare, but you could still remortgage your house, so why don't you go and do that then? And
Tim,
this is in spite of the fact that there's an outstanding employment tribunal claim out against the school for unfair dismissal because she was whistleblowing, right? She should have whistleblower protection because she was whistleblowing the school for allowing this girl, 8-year-old, to transition with no evidence why they should do it.
I call them the trans mafia because this is what happens. This is what happens, right? You express an idea like, I think that little girl is a little girl. And that's my belief, and that's based around predominantly scientific and medical fact. And then they want you to lose your job, and they want to bankrupt you. And let's be honest, the reason why she's hiding her identity is quite possibly so she doesn't get attacked in the street. It's gone a bit far, hasn't it?
Well, and it's worse than that, Patrick, because they also reported it to the Information Commissioner for a criminal offence. The Information Commissioner cleared her of any offence. They also reported this to the DBS, the Disclosure and Barring Service, saying she's putting children at risk or whatever, should be banned from teaching for that. The DBS service said, no, they've not going to impose a ban. Then she's been reported to the Teaching Regulation Authority to ask them to ban her from teaching ever again. And consequently, she's not able to work in teaching anywhere at the moment.
Has anyone asked Tim? Has anyone asked? Tim, has anyone asked, was she a good teacher?
Yes, she was there for about 9 years, and then there were no complaints about her teaching, right? So this is the first thing that anybody ever objected to with her, that she raised concerns on behalf of the child, right? She was trying to protect the child, right? And she's the one who's being disciplined, punished, pursued, threatened. You should sell your house. I mean, it really is absolutely extraordinary and shocking what they're doing to her. The intimidation is absolutely massive. She still has an outstanding employment tribunal claim, as I said, and that no way should they be pursuing costs ahead of that at this point.
Well, this is how they buy silence, right? This is why so many people who don't have to get involved in the kind of conversation that we're having right now just swerve it altogether. And that means that a load of people think that they're completely complicit with this bonkers stuff that's going on. It's only when it affects their lives that they think, maybe I wish I'd spoken up a bit earlier. But, Tim, the fact is, people look at stories like this and they think, you know what, I am actually deeply concerned about my little girl or little boy, but I won't raise it because if I do, they will ruin me professionally and personally and financially. And I'm sorry, but that is nuts.
Well, and it is nuts, and it's really incredible intimidation. And I think what we need now is more teachers and more parents to speak up and say, no, we're not taking this. No, we're not tolerating it. Because there's a very aggressive trans lobby, trans activists here who will not tolerate any dissent. In spite of the fact that there are many people raising concerns about this, the government has promised its own new guidance because of so many concerns being raised about what's happening in schools. Should you really be allowing 8-year-old children, or younger sometimes, to just cross-dress and socially transition when there's no medical evidence supporting it, nothing other than the child or the parent saying, I want this now to be a boy, I want this now to be a girl? Surely you should not do that. Surely that is not good for the children. All the medical evidence shows that it is not good. And why are we allowing it? And surely historians will look back and say, why did the whole society go along with something as crazy as that?
You know, one thing, I appreciate that you're from Christian Concern, Tim. I did have a fascinating discussion last week or the week before about what happens when the trans lobby meets certain members of certain other religions, and I expect that might kick right off. But Tim, thank you very much. We'll have to leave it there. Tim Diab from Christian Concern.